All right, what is up? What is up? What is going on? Welcome into another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving with you and yours. My name is Mike. I am your host. Thanks so much for checking back in with us each and every week. And as always, we have a lot to get to tonight, so why don't we jump right in and let me get some housekeeping stuff out of the way first. First and foremost, here's where you can find us on the interwebs. First place is our website, which is ahpod.com. It's AHHPOD.com. Find out all you want to about us, about the show, read our blog, listen to the show, do all kinds of things like that. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for America's Hometown Horror, and we'll pop right up there. You'll find us. Pretty easy. And you can also email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com if you feel so inclined to do so. And, of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention our two sponsors, first of which is Horror Facts Magazine. You can find them at horrorfacts.com, which is a fantastic resource for all things horror. So if you're a fan of horror, this is a website you need to be following for news, reviews, and horror podcasts just like ours. And last but certainly not least, we are now an affiliate of Fangoria, the first in fright since 1979. We're partnering with Fangoria to give our listeners an exclusive 20% discount on any merchandise and first-time magazine subscriptions. Just head on over to shop.fangoria.com/hometownhorrorpod. You can click the link in our show descriptions each and every week and enter the code HometownHorrorPod at checkout for an exclusive 20% discount for our listeners. So head on over to Fangoria's shop and get yourself some bomb-ass merchandise and make yourself, be styling and profiling heading into the holiday season. So, that being said, all right, we are back in person again for another week, and I am joined by all three of my lovely esteemed co-hosts, Matt, Andrew, and back again, the lovely Catherine. Lady, gentlemen, how we doing?
What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Not too bad.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Good time?
Good. Yeah.
Good time all around?
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stressful
Always.
holidays past us. Yeah. Hosting with a baby and a crazy dog can be pretty stressful, needless to say. But
Can imagine.
happy to be through it. And
And on
yep.
to the next one.
Yep. I will say, though, I was able to recommend our movie that we covered last week, Smile, to quite a few people over the last week or so since we last recorded, including my father, who loves horror. And I think my sister even tried to dip her toe into watching it, and she was too scared to continue.
I don't blame her.
I got a
Yeah.
lot of people responding to me when I shared that
Yeah.
on my own personal Facebook. They were pretty good. They were like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to check this out now."
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were in the same boat as me, where they were like, "I don't know," and then I was like, "No, just do it. Trust me."
Yeah.
So
Right.
I wouldn't give you a dog shit movie to watch. No. So.
Go for it. Go
Did
for
your
it.
dad watch it?
He did. I don't think he never. He's very tough to get the text back. So he didn't really give me. I'll have to get him on the phone and see what his thoughts were on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't
Be
like very
interesting.
much of the new stuff anymore. So I'm sure he'll be like, "Yeah, it was fucking stupid." But we'll see. Yeah.
That'll be us someday. Well, that's kind of
That
us.
will be us
now.
someday. Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's what I got. But I know that we've kind of been on borrowed time the last week with the holidays going on. But I think we probably all watched a couple things here and there, which we'll get to. But by the time you hear this, dear listener, the latest thing, and there's not a whole lot coming out now. The biggest thing that's coming out in theaters, I think, is that new Santa Claus horror movie with David Harbour,
Oh, yeah.
Violent Night, I think it's called, or it's not even really a horror movie. I've heard it described as more of like Die Hard meets like Christmas, like a Santa Claus story.
I
type
heard it's
thing.
like Bad Santa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I kind of really want to see it because I
I
love
do too,
David
yeah.
Harbour. He's awesome in Stranger Things, and he's a good actor. So I'm interested to see, what that movie ends up looking like. I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to get out to theaters to see it, but as soon as that bad boy's streaming, I will definitely be checking it out.
Isn't it so nice though that you so fast, like Pearl and stuff, like it's like
Oh, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
it's so convenient.
Yep. Yeah, it's. I mean, if there is a good thing to have come out of COVID, it's probably this: that just the wide variety of movies that are available so much faster now.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you remember back in May when a movie got released in theaters and then you had to wait like 3 months for it to come out to be able to like rent it?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Even
Yeah.
longer than that. It's just
It felt
wild,
like forever.
right?
And then it would be like 5 years before it was on like TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
And it'd
Oh,
be
wait,
like
for
cut
sure
and
on
edited
TV.
to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks.
But another thing that I'm itching to check out and I haven't had the opportunity to yet is there's a new show on Netflix from the creative team behind their sleeper hit from a few years ago called Dark, which was a German show.
Yeah, that show's
I watched part of that.
Fantastic. Yeah, we watched it together. That show was great. And this show's called 1899.
Oh, I keep seeing things for that.
Yeah, and it seems like it's almost like similar to Dark, like a sci-fi, supernatural, twisty
triangle
story.
kind of thing,
Yeah, I think it has those types of vibes. All I know about it is that it involves a ghost ship floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and there's another ship that is full of people migrating to America that, they find the ship, and then all this weird shit starts to
Big
happen.
Event Horizon vibes.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that from the trailer. I watched the trailer a while back when it was first announced, but I haven't seen it since, so I kind of don't really remember a lot, and I want to go into that blind and check it out.
Subtitles for this one?
I think a lot of it's in English.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they actually shot some of
or
this
is
in
that
English.
It's a lot of different languages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I heard that you want to watch it with subtitles because if there's an English dub and a lot of the plot revolves around the inability to communicate properly. So when it's all in English, you're kind of like,
That throws you
why
off.
are you an
Yeah.
idiot? Like,
Yeah.
why don't you get
It's
it?
clearly
So-
saying that.
Yeah,
you
so
understand.
I think it's just best to go in with the subtitles and do it
I think
that
it's
way.
always best to go with subtitles over dubbed anyway. Correct.
For sure. And actually, so speaking of Dark, when we started watching it, we tried watching it dubbed, and I found it to be so distracting.
Yeah.
We swapped
That's also
to
a
subtitles
super
after, like,
confusing
one.
show.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's good to be able to read it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark was one of those shows that you can't half watch, and be on your phone. You
No,
need to pay
you
attention
have
to
to, yeah.
every little fucking detail that's in there. So I'm excited to check this show out. I don't know about you guys.
I'm definitely
That
gonna.
I didn't know it was made by the same people, so that's kind of
Yeah,
a...
same team. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty
check that
good because Dark was a huge
So
hit for Netflix.
It's a program.
It's a program
It's
called
eight episodes,
1899.
yeah.
It's a program.
It's a story. Yeah.
All right.
My stories.
I didn't know it was a movie. I was like,
Watch my stories.
Yeah, so Violent Night in 1899. Those are available if you want to check those bad boys out, either in theaters or in Netflix. But in terms of stuff that we have been able to watch over the last week, anyone want to kick things off? Anyone watch anything good?
I
Matt?
will. Yeah, I gotta go
We're all
first.
just staring at each other.
I watched a movie on Shudder that came out this year. I think it had been released film festival circuit wise last year, but it's a African French film called Salum, Saloum.
I've heard of this.
What a wild fucking movie! It's 84 minutes long.
Perfect.
It goes by like a fucking. It's unbelievable how fast it goes. It's action packed. It is a great action movie up until it gets into the horror. And I was actually surprised because I really loved it while it was the action movie. And I knew it was going to turn to horror, wasn't sure what it was, and I was a little disappointed when it did get to the horror stuff because it was like kind of lame. So it was good, but it just like wasn't what I expected.
Okay.
And so, but the first like 2/3 of the movie are fucking sick. Like
Okay.
this is about a group of 3 mercenaries who have just stolen a bunch of gold, and they have a drug dealer from Mexico who they are kind of like harboring as hostage to be like, this is your trade bait for this, that, and the other thing, negotiating with a Mexican cartel. They end up being in a plane, their plane breaks down, and they get stuck in this little isle called Salum, I guess. It's somewhere in Africa, I presume. Incredible acting, top to bottom. This movie went super under the radar, and it's just all this like paranoia of like who knows what, because there's a girl there that only speaks in sign language. She's deaf and mute, but she knows that they're like bullshit because they have to be like, we're not criminals because they're with like police officers and like this, that, and the other thing. And so it just, the way it plays out is really interesting, but then there's like a curse issue that comes into play, and it kind of goes off the rails. And in my opinion, I thought it just kind of took away from like how cool this story was going to be. I thought it was going to be a full-blown bloodbath, battle royale, French film type deal, and it just totally went like almost Asian horror. So it was like kind of all over the place. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't what I expected. But it's, like I said, you can fucking piss through it. It's super quick. If you're just looking for a nice, quick 80-minute movie, check it out.
That's right.
It was good. It was like
that's perfect.
the way it played out. It was like I don't even know. It was so fast paced. Like it was so fun to watch.
Yeah. I remember Rebecca McKendry talking about this on Colors of the Dark a few episodes back. Yeah, and it's piqued my interest. I gotta get to that one.
Another one I watched. So I went and saw Bones and All yesterday.
That's right. I know you said you enjoyed it.
I did very much.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So this is a very heartfelt, sincere love story, but it also is a extremely brutal cannibal movie.
Nice.
So basically it follows this girl who I don't want to go too far, but I'm going to give you a good gist of it. It's not too spoilery, but that's not very twisty and turny, but there's a good mystery about it. You're following her character and what she's trying to figure out about herself and her past. So basically this girl, she is a cannibal. Like, she was just born with this, like, basically genetic thing where you are a cannibal. You can smell other people who do it. You can smell people who are going to die soon that you can eat, blah, 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 blah. And so she ends up getting left on her own. Her dad's like, listen, like, this is as far as I can take you. You're 18 now. She ends up having an incident with a school friend where she bites her finger off. That's in the trailer. And it's fucking gnarly. They don't hold back on anything. All practical effects, all very real and unflinching.
Yikes.
So she's moving along, and what she's trying to find is her mom, because apparently her mom has been out of the picture, but she has something to do with this. And along the way, she meets Timothée Chalamet, who's also, has this cannibal thing. She gets mixed up with another guy who's kind of in the mix as well throughout the movie. And you meet some real fucking scary people. And it just puts that kind of notion in there, be like, you don't know the people that are among you all the time. So
Interesting.
Incredibly well done movie. Heartfelt, like I said. It was super well written. I wouldn't be surprised if some way, shape, or form there's some sort of Oscar nod for it. The acting's incredible, top to bottom. The story's great. Could be nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay because it is based on a novel.
Okay.
And I'd love to see that if that happened. Definitely check it out. It's something way different, and it is extremely satisfying, and the ending is just a fucking gut punch. So be ready for that.
And there were enough horror elements, you think, to qualify it as like horror adjacent, you think? Or,
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, okay, sweet. All
Is
right.
it kind of like Let the Right One In kind of vibes? Like
Kind of.
love story,
It's
but
a
like-
lot. It reminded me of Natural Born Killers.
Oh.
If you want
I love that
to put
movie.
that kind of horror spin on it, but not as like over the top. It takes itself very seriously, and the love story is the forefront of the film, along with her traveling and finding her purpose. You know what I mean? So that coming of age type shit. But it is brutally fucking violent.
All right.
And you watch them eat the fuck out of themselves.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, like, because you never know who's around you. There was a study that said 4 people are cancer.
No.
I don't. That's insane.
No.
25%
No.
Which meant that one of us could be a cannibal.
No.
Is that your way of crying out for help and telling us that you've been snacking on some people?
Just a finger here or
Just
there.
a figure here or there. That's how it
It's
starts.
always a dead person's finger.
That's
It's
how it
never
starts,
a
Andrew.
live
That's how it
person's
starts.
finger.
Then you get the taste.
The smell, though. Just,
There are a couple really good like reveal scenes of like you get good payoffs of certain things, and they are like deeply disturbing.
Okay.
So
sounds right up my alley.
I'm sure if one of the 4 of us were cannibals, it probably would not be as artsy as this A24 offering from Luca Guadagino, who also
it's
did
not
the.
A24.
It isn't.
No.
I would have thought for sure it was.
MGM.
MGM. Okay. Well, he directed the Suspiria remake, I believe.
Yes.
Right. I was thinking if one in the 4 of us were actually cannibals, we'd probably be like more like Charlie and Dee after they consume Frank's human meat in the Mac and Dennis Manhunters.
I like to think if
episode
I was a
of Always
cannibal, I'd be more
Sunny.
like Lecter. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
oh, let's see.
Chianti and fava beans and such and such.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So bones and all, I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah.
And now, after hearing you say that, I'm like, yeah.
It's
go to the movies
it's
by
like
myself
there's
and watch
it's
that.
it's so crazy because you have this very sweet, beautiful love story, and it really is like touching and nice, and it's like. I have a soft spot for movies like that because it gets to you, you know what I mean? But
Sure.
that's juxtaposed with this insane fucking story and notion that like these people fucking eat people.
Yeah.
So it's almost vampire-ish, but it's way more fucking brutal.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Does sound awesome. Cool. Anything else?
And then we watched Shaun of the Dead last night for fun.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I the only other thing that I really watched this week, I haven't had a lot. Like I said, I haven't had a lot of time. I did my my comfort rewatch of The Thing last night for a while, just watching that bad boy. Because it's just.
We watched a little bit of that Saturday
good.
night too.
Yeah, and then I was going to say, Andrew, I know you watched a couple episodes of Cabinet of Curiosities, among probably a couple other things,
I
right?
took the 2 that you recommended, The Viewing and Pickman's Model.
Pickman's Model, yeah.
Both very good, both very different, both very Lovecraftian, though, I feel
Yes.
like. And, well, I mean,
all
basically,
kind
The
of
Viewing
are.
was essentially like you said, it was like The Thing, like New Age.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah.
There's a little bit. I like the music in it. The music was really good.
Yeah,
in it.
that was the one
It
with
had,
the
like,
rock, right?
That was the one with the space rock.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with like Dwayne.
Not
Dwayne
like
The Rock
Dwayne
is
Johnson. Yeah.
He was not in
It's
that.
like he definitely wasn't in that.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover was awesome in
Pickman's Bottle.
Does he
Pickman's Bottle.
dance?
That one was. It didn't even look like him. They must have done. He looked so young in that. It was
Yeah.
really weird. It threw me off because you said he was in it, and I'm like, where is he?
Yeah.
And then I was like halfway through, and I'm like, that's fucking Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
He definitely had the creepy vibes to him, but he just didn't
He's-
look.
he's
Because he's got to be
oddball.
what 60 something.
Gotta be close, I would think.
He looked like he was in his 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked
It
young.
threw me off.
Yeah.
That one was. I like that one better than the.
Pickman's Bottle was awesome, and you want to talk about a gut punch of an ending. That is also a very big
Yeah.
punch to the gut, for sure. But that has some of the most awesome Lovecraftian cosmic horror monster shit that I've ever seen in a Lovecraft
I like
adaptation,
horror
so.
themed things more when they're
Phantasm-ish.
no like a period piece kind of thing going on
Sure,
to it. It's a little
sure.
bit different because everything now is just like new.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm not gonna lie. With that particular one, I more so when I saw the period piece element to it, I thought it was gonna trend into like gothic horror, which is not my personal favorite subgenre of horror, but it went in a completely different direction,
Yeah.
and it was fucking awesome. I think it was my favorite episode of the entire thing.
It was very
Yeah, It was
creepy,
good. It was
very-
very good. Cool. What else? Did you watch anything else besides those couple episodes?
I mean, I watched Gladiator, but
Yeah, there you go.
Ah,
Nothing
I love
else.
that movie.
Yeah,
That-
it's a great movie.
so good.
The
Fantastic.
Russell Crowe movie?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Friday. I was just like stuffing my face with DoorDash after eating a ton of food on Thursday, and I was like, "What can I fall asleep to and it won't matter?" I was like, Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yes.
There you
And
go.
then I stayed up for the whole thing because I was
Well,
like, I
yeah.
fucking love this movie.
Sounds like a perfect Black
I'm like,
Friday.
Joaquin
for
Phoenix,
sure.
will you just die?
Oh, my God. He's so good.
Uh,
Marcus.
Cool. Kat, anything to report on besides this movie that we're about to talk about in a few short moments?
Don't.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
why don't we
Yeah,
not
nothing.
waste any more time then? We can talk about this latest offering that we're going to break down in full detail here, and that is Pearl, the second in a new trilogy of films from director Ty West. And you may remember that this is a prequel to X, which was also a 2022 release that we covered on a podcast episode earlier this year, right after the movie first came out. So definitely I would say it's recommended that you watch X before this, but I wouldn't say that it's 100% necessary to watch X. I think these stories are separate enough that you can kind of watch one without seeing the other. I think it
Absolutely.
improves your viewing experience if you watch them both. But X, I liked, I didn't love. I know, Matt, it is probably your favorite thing that's been released this year, or
It's up there,
close to the top,
for
right?
sure.
So I know you were kind of chomping at the bit to see this movie, and I knew that you would be very excited to talk about this. So I guess in terms of, I just think it's incredible that Ty West not only shot both these movies at the same time, but released them in the same year. Completely original story that is being turned into essentially into a franchise. It's very rare to see that type of thing these days. So I give all sorts of credit where credit is due for that mere fact alone. Not to mention some of the other elements of this movie, which were excellent. But Matt, why don't you kick us off? Yeah, excellent. Why don't you kick us off and talk a little bit about Pearl and what you liked about it? If you did like it, I don't mean to assume.
I did very much like it.
Yes.
I was so incredibly impressed with this movie, and I had extremely high expectations. So it plays everything about it is so fucking unique, and just it's literally refreshing because it's like it looks like you're watching The Wizard of Oz in terms of the color, the
Fonts on, like, the,
every
like,
yeah
every
the
little,
font. I
Title
think even
cards.
down to the like the camera dimensions too. I think it's filmed like you look at it like this looks. He has an incredibly impressive way of capturing what the time period of the movie he's making, like how he wants it to look, and he nails it every fucking time.
Yeah.
House of the Devil.
House of the Devil looks like an
exactly
80s
like an
movie.
80s movie.
Yep.
X, I rewatched it again after, and I got it on the Blu-ray. Nice big TV. Dude, it looks like a fucking set. It looks like you're watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It does. Yeah, that was the biggest vibe that I got out of X, was that this feels very much like, obviously it's influenced by it. but
There's
it's
almost-
like a spiritual sequel almost, in a sense, to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There's almost shot for shot, like mirror images. Like, you have the girl in the short shorts, like, walking up to, like, the White House and the tall... It's just, like, it was so fucking good. And this, even still, I'm like, this looks like I'm watching The Wizard of Oz just on a nice TV. Like...
Yeah.
And, like, the Sound of Music.
Yeah, it just had, like...
it
had the fairy tale kind of... And so, basically, what this movie is about is it is Pearl. It is the older woman in X as a... I imagine she's got to be 18 years old.
Yeah.
Youngest. So, and basically she's living on a farm with her German mother and her very ill father. I don't know if he had a stroke or if he has...
He was from the pandemic that they had. He got from
polio or something. I don't know.
So actually, I looked into this because I thought, so obviously this was shot during COVID, and I thought it was a very interesting parallel that they incorporated
a lot of masks.
The mask element in a way that felt organic. Because initially I was like, why the fuck is she wearing a mask? Like, come on, this is 1918, but there actually was a huge...
Not the Spanish flu,
huge
right?
influenza pandemic it was like between 1918 and 1920 in the United States. I'm not sure if it was the Spanish flu, but if you...
There was a flu pandemic.
There was a flu
some
pandemic.
sort of thing where it was every, like, 100 years or something that happened.
Yeah, so it made sense in the context of the story... You know, without it being distracting, because I was like, are they just trying to, like, work in an angle that, like, they're, you know, overcoming COVID regulations? But no, it actually turns out that was not the case. So I thought that was interesting. Not to interrupt you.
No, you're good. But so she's living on this farm, and her dad he needs to help with absolutely everything, and can't talk. He's kind of just like a vegetable, to put it, for lack of a better term. So she's on this farm. She wants to be a movie star. Her young marriage husband is away at World War I, and she just has this urge to be a star. That's all she wants, and that's why I think it's very important to watch X before you watch this, because you see Maxine's character having these same kind of thoughts. And it's just the difference between the two of them. They're so wide. But at the same time, they're fucking to a needle pin exactly the same, if that makes sense. You have Maxine, who's doing porn. She's fucking railing lines of coke. She's just living the rock star life. But she's like, I'm going to be a fucking star. And then you have Pearl, who's just like, I just want to get the fuck away from this goddamn farm, stop milking fucking cows and doing all this bullshit, and be in movies, because movies are brand new in 1918. But at the very middle of it, there's no good intentions between the two of them.
Let's not forget that she was doing drugs, too, during the movie.
That's right.
She was drinking the morphine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah,
she was getting
I
fucked up, too.
Yeah, that's a whole different
It was
level.
an okay, though, because they're like...
When she goes to the movie theater and she takes a swig out of the bottle.
That was a big swig.
That's why I was like, when she was dancing with the scarecrow, I was like, is that from the morphine? Or like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it is...
Great scene, by the way.
It's this whole build-up of her, and then ultimately, like, her mother doesn't... She's like, shut the fuck up and, like, go shovel pig shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, it builds and builds and builds until she finally snaps. And when she snaps, that's where the movie hits its fucking... You're on the highway now. Like, and you have a cinder block on the gas pedal, and it does not fucking stop. And it doesn't take long to get there, and you are anxiously waiting for it to get there.
Yeah.
And it pays off when it does.
You know it's coming, for sure.
And there's great kills. There's that whole fucking alligator bit, and that is fucking wild. And then as it just keeps going, it just gets crazier and crazier, all the way up until it comes to a full head where Mia Goth delivers a 10-minute monologue at the last probably 15 minutes of the movie. And it was stunning.
Yeah.
Easily worthy of giving awards to, and just noting. And when you consider what she's already done with X... And then you add this element to... Because she's playing fucking... It's all one person.
Right.
Yeah.
Universally, this Maxine character, Pearl old, Pearl young...
Yeah.
The heart is one. You know what I mean? So having this monologue come in was unbelievable. And I could not believe they pulled off what they did making this movie in such a short amount of time. Writing it off the back of their fucking hand... Basically, right after making X, because they had an extra 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they did it, and I was blown the fuck away. And then the whole movie kicks off, the husband comes home, the movie. And then she sits the whole fucking credits.
Oh, that's so
That's,
weird.
Yes.
that's not a
Yeah.
shot. That's not a freeze frame.
No,
No,
it's definitely
it's
her.
not,
Just
no.
because you can see her eyes welling up. and
Yeah,
getting-
so-
I watched it for like a solid minute and a half. And I was like, okay, I'm turning this off.
So,
I can't look at
okay,
this
so
anymore.
I watched the whole thing.
I looked into this, okay? so that deranged smile scene that carries on through the end credits, that was actually unplanned. So basically, she did that smile, held it, and Ty West, the director, refused to call cut. So basically what you're seeing is her struggling to actually hold that smile for however long it actually goes on. It just eventually
It's like
becomes
3
more and
minutes.
more
Oh, yeah.
strained. She starts crying. And then she even starts like shaking her
So that
head.
means that was like natural crying.
Giving Ty West a signal like, hey, cut this
Can we
fucking
stop
scene.
before I cut it.
And I thought it was there was some really good scenes. I thought that was the most unsettling scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it plays over the end credits, which is fucking
With like
wild.
this wild like
Yeah.
fucking tune bop like fucking music, and it's just like holy shit, like
Yeah.
show tunes music.
I guess this is my way of saying that Mia Goth is just an absolute live wire in this fucking movie. She is incredible. Up there with Toni Collette in Hereditary, Lupita Nyong'o in Us, I think, in some of the more memorable, standout leading lady performances in horror movies over the last several years. Not even leading lady, horror performances in general.
Yeah.
You know, up there, like I lump Pattinson and Defoe from The Lighthouse still in that category as well because they're both fantastic in that. But she is just outstanding in this movie. Now,
Batshit crazy.
she won't get nominated for an Oscar.
No.
She should.
Yeah.
An incredible performance. So, yeah, I thought this was, I think I liked this movie better than I liked X.
It's hard for me to decide because they're so different. And like I said, but that's the thing. Like, he had this fascinating way of making two things that were so different, but so fucking exactly the same. And I'm having, like, a hard time trying to describe that. But that's, like, also the universal thing with Mia Goth's series of characters that she created. It's like they have the same fucking... It's the same thing, but they're just fucking different people. And it's unbelievable how well she pulled it off. But that whole thing, the way that whole end scene played out was awesome. Like, I would have probably fucking stood up and cheered in the theater if I saw it in theaters.
And I think you can see, obviously, how invested she is in this character. And I think the fact that... So X was written and directed by Ty West. This movie was co-written by Mia Goth and Ty West, directed by Ty West. So I think the ability for her to co-write this movie and incorporate elements of her character that she thought would fit, I think is a refreshing thing, and that's awesome that she was able to do that. So
The desperation to be an actress.
Right.
Like, you wonder if she, like, was at that point in her life.
she very well may have been, but she's a very talented actress, so I can imagine that she probably didn't struggle as much as Pearl did. So
Probably not.
one of the more interesting things that I was thinking about the entire time. So what was I going to say? The two influences. I guess Ty West's two biggest influences on, like, you know, in terms of thinking about this movie. We already mentioned The Wizard of Oz. Mary Poppins was another one that I've seen in, like, written out in articles that he was inspired by that. So, Kat, knowing how big of a Wizard of Oz fan that you are, I was really thinking that you were going to like this movie quite a bit. So, yep, I know you have the original book upstairs. There's a Wizard of Oz poster down here that has... that's the first, however many chapters?
13 chapters.
First 13 chapters
Yeah.
that is basically turned into an art piece, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you look, there's little letters. Like, they
Oh, yeah,
all
I know,
of
I've
it,
seen
yeah.
those.
The
Yeah.
letters,
So safe to say that you are a very big fan of The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and
That's
drawing
correct.
those comparisons, I would think that this would be a movie that would be tailor-made for you. So what did you think of Pearl?
So I liked it.
There you go.
I mean,
Moving on.
Dramatic pause.
No, dramatic pause. No, I liked it. I liked the way it was shot. I liked the way that, like Matt said, of all the different, like, elements, like, that had to deal with, like, Wizard of Oz-ish kind of things. I think I liked it better than X, but then hearing you talk about X, now I'm kind of like, I kind of want to go back and watch it again.
should.
Because I feel like I need to give it another chance. Because I feel like I immediately was like, that movie was terrible. Right off the bat.
You didn't like it at all?
No. No.
It's understandable.
I didn't get it. I don't know. I didn't get the appeal. This, for me, was like such a slow burn. Like, I watched the first half of it, and Mike was like, how's Pearl? And I'm like, I don't think this is a horror movie. Like, I don't really understand how this is really, like, gonna go? Where is this going? Like, I don't understand. It's just like her whole backstory and this, that, and whatever. I'm like, yeah, she's in a shit situation in her family and this, that, and whatever. But then, like what Matt said, like it picks up and it just like goes. But yeah, I was kind of like, I feel more like it's just like a sad story about a girl that just doesn't see any other way out and has like mental problems. It's just like, I'm like, I feel bad for her.
You do feel for the character, for sure.
That's why that monologue is so fucking powerful.
Right.
Because you're like, this poor fucking girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, you see her just like, the reality that she's in is gone.
Yeah.
She's talking to her husband in that moment.
Right.
Completely. And you can just tell, like, the girl sitting at the table, which is her sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Is like,
Poor girl.
Like,
What
okay,
the
whoa.
fuck?
She's confessing all these people that she just fucking killed. It's like, dude, like, holy shit.
I feel like I was waiting for the camera to pan over to her to see her expression, and it never did. It just like stayed on.
This is one long
her
shot.
the entire time. Yeah.
Well, the first time we saw like the sister-in-law, I thought it was going to be something to do with her, but it was going to be on the other end where like she betrayed her, like the sister-in-law like was being all fake nice to her and
Yeah.
everything, and she was going to like be the reason that her like the switch went off.
Yeah.
Because she was like fake nice. I didn't see what was coming until it was happening, and then I was like, this is where this is going.
Yeah.
It was nice because I thought it was going to just play that like basic trope of like everybody's against me,
Right.
But she wasn't against her. She was 100% for her, and she just was like, I don't care.
Literally. I don't think there was a single scene in this whole entire movie that after it ended, I wasn't looking at Mia Goth's performance. And I like every single scene, I was like, that was brilliant. Like her audition that she does.
That was great too.
The getting dragged out of the audition at the end, and then just every single dude when she fucking screams at that guy, the film projector guy.
Oh.
I was like, holy fuck, dude!
Oh,
like
yeah.
After she was on her fucking
brings it.
cocaine high, talking to the animals, like, this is fucking Billy, and this is Charlie, and what?
Yeah, just manic. Yeah,
Something wrong with me?
yeah.
Not like me?
Yeah.
What did I do? What did I do?
Crazy.
I don't know what you did, but there's maggots on a pig outside your house.
Yeah.
And your dad looks
Well,
like
that-
he wants to like murder someone or
Yes.
get
It's
away.
like a symbol of like eating away at.
Yeah. You're trying to.
That's a
and you're trying
that's
to.
a good thought. Yeah, that could just be the
Eating away at her
rotting
brain.
of
The
her
rotting of
reality
her,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's also a good parallel. So let's pause for a second here. Talk about that monologue for a second here, okay?
Okay.
So it goes on for 7 minutes and 57 seconds.
Wow.
There are 17 shots, and the last shot goes uncut for 5 minutes and 36 seconds. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Just
That's when it
remember,
gets
just
heavy.
Impressive.
memorizing that alone is impressive.
Yeah.
she wrote it.
Yeah, she did write it. So.
So that she should be able to
Yeah.
memorize. I would still have trouble memorizing something
Yeah.
I wrote.
I mean, speaking that long, uninterrupted, like without forgetting your lines, that's an incredible feat to
This
accomplish.
just goes to show how good some people are at just getting into character.
Pretending to be somebody else.
And I'm
who's
sure
pretending to talk
she
to someone
probably
that
fucked
doesn't
up a
exist.
word or here or there, but
Yeah.
it was so irrelevant that it doesn't
Couldn't
matter.
even tell. Yeah, she
improvised
probably
at
just
that
yeah,
point,
yeah.
too.
You're probably right. I've heard this movie compared, or actually like called, and I feel like this is almost doing it a disservice. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie or your thoughts on it, but almost like a female-centric version of the Joker movie with Todd
Oh.
Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix.
So I will
This
say
is a
that
character
that was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like one of my biggest things after we walked out of X, or we stopped walking, because I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I was like, well, I would have liked to fucking know what was up with fucking this old lady, and then
Now you
come
know
see, I
what's
was
up
like,
with this
oh,
old lady, yeah.
there's a backstory to it, and I think that's why I like this movie
Yeah.
100% more than the first one, because not only is it's very rare that an actor, well, you can call actors, they're all
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I think they all
an
like
actor,
to be called.
you can. It's very rare that you can find an actor that has the fucking chops or the capability to basically just take a movie and make it them. Like I think that's why this movie was so much better than X. Was it cut out the riffraff? You didn't have all those stupid side actors that bothered me in the other ones. Like this was like it was pretty much just her in the entire movie, and it was just engrossing to watch. Like she was so good.
I think there's only like 5 or 6 actors, aside from like the extras. At, like,
And they
the
were all in the
auditions.
other
Yeah.
one, right?
Like
too. They
5
were
or
all
6,
in
like,
pretty much in
main-
X. Most of them.
I think there's one or two that
projectionist
play
must-
two different people.
Yeah, was the projectionist in the first one?
I don't know.
Johnny, when she was like across the car.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'd
what
have
does
to
she
look
say?
it up.
She's like,
like,
au revoir,
Au revoir, Johnny!
Yeah,
I just
Johnny.
like laughed.
Yeah.
And I was like, that poor guy didn't know what was happening. But
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he was also a piece
a
of shit
prick.
trying to get her into smut films.
He was
Yeah.
a prick.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely trying to.
They were
groom
all
her for porn,
unlikable,
yeah.
but at the
Or
same point in
stag
time, you felt
films.
bad for him, which is what made the movie really good. Is because you were like, "Am I upset that this person died? Kind of, but am I?
Kind of, but he's
Am I
kind of a
rooting
piece
for
of
her?
shit.
But she's
Yeah.
a piece of shit too."
Right.
Yeah, she's a fucking maniac.
Yeah, but it was like they did a good job of just like making it very difficult to root or not root for someone else.
Well, they did a good job of making her character as fucking crazy and just brutal as she was. You're sympathetic towards her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're almost it's weirdly enough you're almost on her side, but for not even for her sake, it's like for like everybody else's sake.
Right.
Right.
You literally actually during her monologue you go through the entire movie, you go through the same emotions she's going through in the monologue, because initially you're like, I hate the mom's a bitch, and then like as the movie's going on you're like, she's really not, like she's just trying to make
She's
the
just
best of
doing
an
the best that
awful
she
situation.
can.
Like
Yeah.
when she gets home she's crying in her bedroom, and then, I mean the only person you feel bad throughout the movie is the poor dad.
Oh my
I feel
God.
bad
That
for both of
poor
them.
guy.
Like
Yeah.
the mom too. It's like she's dealing
She
with
has to-
this. She's got
yeah.
this whole farm,
and she's doing
like,
everything she can, and she's
yeah.
like, this my stupid daughter just wants to dance
Daughters,
and sing.
killing geese and having sex with scarecrows, and
That was a very
around.
awkward
that
scene.
scarecrow scene was, that was wild.
I was really
That's like
hoping
the.
though.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was really hoping that she was going to push her dad into the
To the alligator.
She was thinking about it.
Yeah, it
Big
was
time.
close. I was like, when that happened, I thought she was going to let the mom get in front and then just push them both in. I was like, I kind of hope that.
She gets
All
it
right.
either way.
Yeah, I feel like
eventually.
that scarecrow scene was the most like in your face thing. Like, hey, just so you know, we're inspired by Wizard of Oz a little bit here. Here's a scarecrow.
Except Dorothy doesn't fuck the scarecrow.
Yeah, that's correct.
that is true.
But I think that was kind of like a great way of being like, hey, here's your fucking warning. Like, this movie's gonna get out of
Weird.
control
Yeah.
real fucking quick. So,
Like-
now's your chance to bail.
It's like Ty West is almost like looking at the camera, being like, "Hey, you ever seen Return to Oz? You thought that movie was
love that
fucked
movie.
up? Hold my beer. Watch this, all right?
Now imagine Dorothy bangs all of them.
Yeah. Imagine Dorothy gets into a gangbang with all of them, and then kills them all afterwards, chops them up, and feeds them to an
Jesus.
alligator. How about that? So yeah, wild movie for sure. Definitely a wild.
To be
movie.
fair, that's not.
So, Kat, I'm sorry, just to close the loop on this. So sounds like you liked it, didn't love it, right?
No, I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Andrew, I know you said you like this better than X.
Oh,
and-
I thought not even just because I didn't like X that much. Like, this
Yeah.
is a great movie.
Okay, so I have to be honest too. Walking out of X, I didn't like. I was a little disappointed, and I feel like this is X, like Barbarian. The more distance I've had between initially seeing it and then thinking about it a little bit of time, I've grown to appreciate it a little bit more for what it was. So I definitely do want to rewatch X now that I've seen this.
Have you not rewatched it yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
Nope. So I'm
thank
gonna
God.
do it soon.
I liked X, and when I watched it again after
Yeah.
Pearl, I was like, "Fuck."
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This movie rocks.
I
So
think
Andrew,
what
you think
will
this was
change-
you really like this movie?
Well, I think that there's a huge difference. Is my appreciation for Mia Goth has gone from I thought she was trash in X and annoying and bothered me to
I'm still hot.
one of the. No, I don't really find her attractive.
Really?
No.
Mrs.
Doesn't do it
Shia
for me.
LaBeouf, by the way.
Yeah, she just had a baby with Shia LaBeouf.
Ugh.
Is she like a child of any actors?
I'm not sure.
She's got a
has
crazy
like a
name.
look to her
Yeah.
that's like
Like her full name's like it's like 6 names. It's
Mia
Really?
She looks like she looks like if she had gotten some of the roles that Rose McGowan got in the '90s, that she would have been like arm candy for Marilyn Manson at the VMAs. Like she has that
I
look
see
to
that.
her.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can put Rose McGowan in the same. Well, Rose McGowan
Obviously,
was hot in the 90s.
Mia Goth is a better actress, but I mean, I feel
Yes.
I feel like her name alone. Her name is Mia Goth.
I don't know,
like,
Mia Goth's pretty
I
hot.
don't think Rose McGowan's that weird.
It's that
of a name.
pouty face, dude. She's just cute.
She's cute, but she's also she's just insane looking. So now,
Yeah.
because she's just always. I feel like she would like.
That smells like burned into her head now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. I'd look at it like I would be very hard. Like if someone.
It's like the almost like no eyebrows look too.
Yeah,
like
she
you're
just-
like
she
it's
just can-
something unnatural.
I just feel like she's naturally insane because like you can't just flip a switch like that and not. There's got to be a couple screws just hanging off there.
I mean,
Like,
I feel like
she's a
the
or
she
she's
might
just
be
a phenomenal. How old is she?
20.
she's
she's
in her
like
20s,
got to be
yeah.
like my age, I think.
See, she'll get her fucking award at
Her
some point.
flowers.
Yeah, she will at some point.
She
She'll
should.
do some
She should.
mainstream movie, or horror will hit a different echelon.
Who's to
has
say that
them.
she doesn't get it for this? Why,
You never know.
Why
Was
are
she
we
ever
being so
nominated?
negative
Do
about it?
we know? I don't watch the
don't
awards,
think
so.
Dude, if Tony Collette didn't at least get nominated for Hereditary, then I mean,
But how
that's
long
a
did it
very
take-
high bar to clear.
Yeah.
But people are starting to shit on the Oscars a little more.
Deservedly
Well, yeah.
so.
First off,
Stuffy
who
old
gives a
fucks.
fuck what anybody of those people think?
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, yes.
She'll win a Chainsaw Award.
Which is
She-
why it's funny thinking about all those stuffed shirts, fucking having to watch Terrifier 2 because it was submitted for an Oscar. It fucking makes my day.
She's up there with like Florence Pugh now as like one of the greatest.
love
like,
Florence.
I forgot about Florence Pugh and her in Midsommar. I feel like that's also going to be.
She was good in Don't
conversation.
Worry, Darling,
Yeah.
too.
Okay. All right.
Actually, very good.
I thought it was also funny, like, to watch the projectionist go through in his head, like, hey, this chick's kind of weird. She's pretty hot. She wants to bang me. I'm going to try and see if I can get her to go be in stag films. And then when he goes home with her, he's like, okay, I have crossed over into an entire new threshold
Chick is
of
a
crazy.
Shouldn't have
and
given her a ride
I
home.
am in
Country
big fucking trouble here.
Yeah.
So
That reminded me of when I went and picked up that girl down in like Fall River, and then I left her at a fucking Cumberland Farms. That was fucking. That's what was gonna happen. That's why you just leave sometimes.
That's
Because
because-
if
yeah.
I didn't leave, I probably would have ended up like the projectionist.
That's
Yeah.
Getting your
correct.
foot cut off with a piano
yes,
wire.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
I've seen Audition.
The acting was awesome in this movie, and the dad.
Yeah.
I feel like he was like a bigger. Like I feel like I've seen him in a bunch of stuff too. Like even though he didn't really act, he just
Did
had,
a
like,
very minimal role, yeah.
It was very weird though that she was bathing in front of him.
That was all. It
Okay.
just further
It
brings
just,
in
like,
her. She just is fucking out of her mind.
And she's just telling her dad all his secrets, and he's probably like, in his mind, like, this girl's fucking nuts.
Well,
Get
that's
her
the thing.
away
You see him just like
Yeah.
breathing heavier and
Yeah,
heavier
yeah,
and heavier.
In between, her character as an older woman in X and her character in this movie, she is just a crazy horny person. Crazy sexual.
Just
Yeah.
just
So-
some sort of deviant.
yeah.
For a moment there, I thought she was gonna like help the mom because she's like burning on fire, and she douses
put her
him
out with
off,
boiling
and
water.
then she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that was that." That's true. But she did it in a way that it was like, "I'm helping you."
Yeah.
And then she just drags her down the stairs, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're not. Yeah, that's no okay."
Like I feel like that detail about the bathing in front of the dad. I feel like that was put in there intentionally, like almost as like a
everything's
sexually
intentional, yeah.
promiscuous thing. Like
She
even
was
in
like
front of her,
Henry,
she
the
doesn't-
portrait of a serial killer.
Yeah,
basically.
I
It
just
was,
like I just
I got a
wild.
lot of Henry vibes in this movie.
It was a lot of uncomfortable scenes, but very good. Like, I also think that's the other thing too. Like when I watched X, I had high expectations. Didn't. Then when I heard Pearl was coming out, I was like, I have zero expectations. And then I was like,
See, I feel like that is a big element, right? If you are just being told and barraged with the fact that this is the and I feel like that in and of itself is an issue these days. Is that everything is either the best thing ever
It fucking
or
sucks.
the best movie the best movie since this movie, some classic, or it's either an absolute piece of hot garbage according to some of these critics, and that's the time we live in with social media, right? Like you have a lot of more people able to express their opinions, right? But I feel like that was the issue with X for me, is that I was like, whoa, this is going to be good. This is gonna that's always been my issue. Like with a movie like The Conjuring, I didn't really like that much the first time I saw it because I was told that it was the scariest movie since The Exorcist, and I walked out of the theater and I was like, that was not that scary at
It
all.
was so hyped up.
Yeah, and I feel like now, again, that I've seen it a couple more times and my expectations weren't as high, it has, my harshness towards it has waned a little bit. So I feel like that's just an issue that I constantly have. So I just need to stop paying attention to what people have to say about things and just go in with my, my mind open.
You should make your own like.
That's what I've been trying to do too.
yeah,
Right?
And I also like the fact too that like I didn't realize Pearl was like deranged Dr. Doolittle. She's like talking to the animals. She's
Yeah.
like the alligator like just listens to her.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck is going on?
I mean,
What's
she
the alligator's
feeds
name
him.
too?
Bertha,
Theta.
Theta,
Theta,
and it just comes like, hey, and then
This
just
thing's
takes one of its
fucking
eggs.
huge, dude.
Why is that
Pet
alligator
dude.
like her anymore? She
That
crushed one of
was
the eggs.
wild. Yeah,
So
that was
there's
crazy.
where is this take place? Where does this
That's
take
gonna be
place?
like New Orleans,
Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was New Orleans too.
All shot. So I mean, I think it's essentially
shot in
supposed to be
New
like
Orleans.
in the,
Oh,
like
it's shot
in the
New Zealand.
like on like the Texas,
Oh, it's shot in New
Louisiana
Zealand?
coast area type thing. Because
okay.
you have to like this is not
Why
West
the fuck did they shoot it there? That's so expensive, isn't it? Oh, because of COVID. That
COVID,
makes
yeah. But so this is not supposed to be West Texas where there's no alligators. This is clearly supposed to be like Gulf
Swampy
of Mexico.
Yeah, like,
so
swampy
it could be-
Texas.
it might as
Yeah.
well be
Swampy
Louisiana.
Texas.
Yeah, swampy Texy.
Because I was like, where is there a farm and alligators?
In
like,
alligator
same-
land.
Yeah, I'm like, where does
On the
this
coast.
take
I mean,
place?
Yeah, but a corn farm
Yeah.
on the swamp, that doesn't seem right.
Right,
Yeah, it's a
that's what I
movie.
mean. I know.
Because
then you're like,
I never even
movie,
thought about
I
that until
know.
you said
What are you,
that.
both farmers?
Right?
Come
I
on.
know.
I'm as much as a farmer as Mia Goth is. So.
All right, cool. Before we continue this conversation on Pearl, why don't we pause a quick 90 seconds for a little word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with some more information to drop right in your face.
It's official. The critics' decision is in.
Spooky World is spectacular.
Enter the new black hole.
If you dare.
Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park. Spooky World.
Don't be scared. I'm the super sweet monster with the super sweet new cereal, Count Chocula.
Biffle, here's the super sweet new cereal, Frankenberry.
But I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor.
Well, I got berry-flavored sweeties for monster strawberry flavor.
Count Chocula.
Frankenberry.
Hi.
Frankenberry.
Count Chocula.
Sleepy clovers.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's killer this year. Then be next door to the Abington Ale House. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
And we're back. We back, baby. Yeah. So I know we just did this last week because we just talked about Smile
I can't do this again.
Yeah. So I was gonna say. So I guess
It's top 5.
Garbage, Firestarter, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Black Phone. All right. Better or worse than Smile?
Better.
Andrew,
I like Smile better.
Kat.
I don't like saying worse in that situation because I'm like, it's not worse.
I'm gonna go with Smile.
Okay. I'm not gonna let the recency bias kick in. I think I slightly preferred Smile.
I just think it was scary.
Yeah. So I guess obviously. So let's get the big one out of the way. X or Pearl? I know you like Pearl better, Andrew.
Is it Pearl too? Yeah. See, I like Pearl way better.
I'm just
I
gonna,
think Pearl's better
Pearl
also.
better, yeah.
Pearl.
I'm just
okay.
going to get ahead of it, and I'm just going to say that, in my opinion, this is the best made horror movie.
Okay.
Front to back.
All right. So you like it more than Barbarian?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I like it more than Barbarian.
More than Men.
I'm
Andrew?
saying like better made movie.
It was a very well
the
made
best.
movie. It was very well written.
Yeah.
It's not
To a T.
necessarily my favorite.
Favorite, yeah. See,
But
that's the thing. I think
think
I
it's
still
the
like
best.
Men better.
Okay.
Men's better.
Nope or Pearl?
Pearl.
Nope.
I still like Nope better. I think.
I did rewatch No, and I really
Did say it
enjoyed
went.
Yeah.
You know what I've been watching a bunch of now? Speaking of Nope, it's on Netflix.
Key and Peele.
Oh my god, I forgot how fucking.
Me too.
Yeah.
The show
Peele's
is
awesome.
so good.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I watched mostly
Yeah.
this weekend. I watched like
The
2
football
seasons.
name skits are the funniest fucking
That
thing
and then
of all
the
time.
substitute teacher.
Yeah.
One. But there was also one.
The substitute
So,
teacher one's
so you know what we have
awesome.
to do for next Halloween is they have like a whole Halloween episode, and it's awesome. It's like one. Keegan-Michael Key dresses up as Michael Jackson for a Halloween party, and he just gets there and he's just like, hee hee. And he's just doing it for like 5 minutes, and the host is like, yeah, I get it. You're Michael Jackson. He's like, yeah, you know, everyone did this 3 years ago when he died. And he's like, he died? And he's just like, got so upset. It was so funny. I fucking loved it. We need to watch that for next Halloween. It was
All right.
hilarious.
Fair enough. I'm always looking for Halloween specials to put on the docket for next Halloween. It's never too early, folks. Never too early. All right, so Andrew, you said this movie's top 5 for you. This is probably top for you, Matt. I think this is probably within, again, my top 5 range. We need to narrow down our lists we're getting into December. We're going to have to start
Email me a
preparing
memo
for our
and I'll figure it out.
year-end episode. Kat, closer to the top or to the bottom for you? It sounds like you've been the most lukewarm on this movie. Which is surprising to me because I thought that you would love this.
I did too.
I mean, I liked.
I figured you'd be like, oh yeah, go get him, bitch.
I liked some of the elements. I think it was good. I liked this better than X. Did I love it? I don't know if I loved it. But
Are there any
one
like
thumb
how
up,
many
2
how many
thumbs
movies do you think you far and away thought were way better than that this year?
way better.
So like Nope, Smile, probably Smile and Nope
Scream?
for you, right? Scream.
No, this was better than Scream.
Okay, I was going to say, if you said Scream, then we could just stop talking about
Yeah.
this. because
Choose or
of-
Die, though. I mean,
If you say Choose
you're
or Die.
sleeping on Choose or Die.
No one is watching that. Ever.
Yeah, right.
there are like 3 things in this life that I know. It's death, taxes, and I'm not watching
It's
that
like
fucking movie.
Bandersnatch. It's awesome.
It's not like Bandersnatch.
Yes,
Stop it. I haven't even seen what Choose or Die, but I know it's not like Bandersnatch. Stop it.
Cat, Terrifier 2 or Pearl?
Oh, that's so easy. It's definitely terrifying.
It's the fact that it's close for you. You like Terrifier 2 more. Probably.
The proxim.
I think I like Pearl better.
Okay.
Now you're all. Now
See,
I even know.
I like Terrifier 2.
They're different. They're so different.
Very much so.
I would gravitate towards Terrifier 2 more, but I think Pearl is a better movie.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying. Is I think of the movies that have come out, Pearl is the best.
It's
one.
phenomenal.
You're allowed to
phenomenally
like something better.
written. The writing is phenomenal. The
that's what I'm
acting
saying,
is
yeah.
phenomenal. The visuals are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'll take the cheesy fucking.
I mean, like, I've
see, that's what it comes down to. This is a better movie. If you just were saying what's a better movie, not what's your favorite movie, that's a different list.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because I have very, very freely admitted that I think VHS 99 is one of my favorite movies of the year. While I know that there are probably 4 or 5 technically better made horror movies this year.
I'm not a technical guy.
I watched that since we last talked.
So you okay.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was sick.
Dude, I told you, man.
It was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, there was VHS 99. There's 2 segments in it that I was real fucking fucked up about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The sorority one.
The sorority one was awesome.
Yeah.
That was great. They were all
that
awesome.
That scared me, though. I was like, oh, man, what a horror. Like, when they go back and the grave is just filled with water, and the girl's like, I'm going to fucking go up.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
That
I was like, dude, like, you just know she's dead.
That was the scariest one, I think.
That one gave me, like, Creepshow vibes.
Yeah, very much so.
And then the, what is it called? Ozzy's
Dungeon. Yeah,
Woof,
man.
Dude.
No?
I liked it, but it was just.
I was just checking Mike's pants to see if he had a boner or something.
I was like, dude, when they kept showing the girl breaking her leg over and over and over again, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Ooh. And then when it changes gears and you see what happens, she's like, look what you did to my daughter's leg, and it's like, dude, like, did you try to fix it?
No,
like,
they clearly didn't.
It's like rotting off of her body. I was like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, I thought that the strongest segments were Ozzy's Dungeon and then the last one, To Hell and Back, with the that was a good one. The Deadstream guy. Yeah. I actually think I like that segment better than Deadstream, the whole movie.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a lot funnier than Deadstream. And then they come. I did like the payoff at the end. They come back and they just get fucking waxed.
Yeah. So you know how we did like Janthology last year?
Yes.
What if we did a 4-week countdown? Each week you pick. It's like 10 through 6 favorite segments, and then the next week you do like segment based
of like any anthologies.
Yeah, that might be intense.
So it's just basically horror shorts.
Yeah,
like your favorite horror shorts.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of work.
It's an interesting idea, but
it's
also
a lot of content to
go through.
So.
But everything wouldn't be as long, so it wouldn't necessarily be as much of a time commitment. So watch. Just saying.
But it's just you have a lot of things
There's
to
so
consider.
many
I've said this before
segments
about watching horror anthologies. Like, I have this thing where it's like now every time you get through one, it's like, all right, now you gotta fucking start over, and you gotta get through like the little bit.
It's like watching a season of television.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I can do it with like if it's like 4 segments, I can do it. And if I get into it, I gotta get into it like real fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't fuck around with me.
Right.
Don't play coy. Just give me it dick on like real hard.
We can figure out Janthology this year. I think we should continue. We should continue Janthology.
I love that idea.
Now that Matt's on board, he wasn't here last January. I think it would be
We'd have to go through what we did last year.
Yes.
I know we did Southbound, Body Bags, XX, Twilight Zone the movie.
One?
That's the
that one's really
directed
good.
one.
You seen that one?
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, so there's a million anthology movies to choose from.
I
can think of a couple right now.
Scare Package on Fangoria on Shudder, I guess, is really good. I haven't watched it yet, but there is a Scare Package 2 coming out.
I saw that.
There's also one that
Tales
Vincent
of
Price
Price
curates or just like
he's the host.
He's the host.
The Crypt Keeper.
He is.
Also, what's the other one? The Mortuary Collection. That's on Shudder right now. I've heard good things about that.
What about
the
ABCs of?
Those are fucking
insane.
Yep. Yeah, some of those are really fucking strange.
Yeah.
Would you count like Showtime's Master of Horror?
I think that counts.
Because some of those are really fucking good, too.
If you do that, I think you have to throw in like the Creepshow TV series.
We did Tales from the Dark
Tales
Side.
from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side. I feel like all those you gotta throw in. Cabinet of Curiosities.
This might be
this thing.
This might be like.
Oh
really
man, we
difficult.
just opened a can.
You are opening a can of worms.
I think if we do
right?
favorite segments, we got to do it like a year from now because there's way too many.
Okay, all right. Well,
unless we do them like, what if we do it like a chunk here, a chunk there,
You know what I mean?
Kind of
what if
throughout
we pick
the
like
year.
deck like 80 to 85 or whatever it is, like 1985.
Yeah.
Well, there's only so much.
No, I know, but that makes it a little easier to pick from because you'd be like, I got to watch
one
these.
Creep Show segment.
Right?
Pick these ones and then go to that.
Andrew's already calling dibs on the Raft. Dude, you talking about the one with Martin Freeman? Did you see that movie?
The 1981.
Oh no, I'm talking about the movie. That's a great anthology.
What is that one?
Ghost Stories.
Stories. Yeah, the one with Martin Freeman. Is fucking terrifying. That was
awesome movie. So underrated. That we should cover in Janthology this year.
Yes.
Put a pin in that.
Put a pin in it. Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing.
All right,
I'm hanging out too long.
Let's see.
So now that we went off the rails.
Pearl.
I'm like, McPoyle?
McPoyle.
Like, what are you talking
Poyle,
about?
baby. Poyle.
Mike's apparently Jewish now. Poyle.
The same reason everyone's here tonight. Love. Who the hell's this guy? Run! God, I love the McPoyles.
Everyone has pretty badass. It's not badass. I have no depth perception.
Bird law. It's like
Always Sunny. Should we do
Like
an
when he
always?
says, You will call her. You will call
You
her.
call her! You better stop breaking bricks, wet nips.
Jimmy Simpson, man.
Yeah,
that
he's
guy rocks.
great. And it's so funny the whole story of like how he actually came to be on that show. He just happened to be Charlie Kelly's roommate, or Charlie Day's roommate. He's like just training to be the. I think he went to like Juilliard to be like this serious actor, and he's fucking playing one of the McPoyles on Always Sunny. Awesome.
Look at Danny DeVito. He did all these fantastic movies, and he's like, you know what?
Yes.
Well, he also did Twins.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's
All right.
a
Okay.
lot.
All right.
And we're way
so
off the
Pearl.
rails
So
now.
Pearl.
I mean, way off.
All right. Anything else on Pearl?
I don't know if it's
Anything
a
we
pearl
didn't
or
talk
if
about.
it's just a diamond.
I know,
It's
and so I know.
right
So
there.
this at least deserves to be mentioned. So this is just, I feel, it makes this filmmaking accomplishment even more incredible. The fact. So we mentioned that this is co-written by Ty West and Mia Goth. They collaborated on the script via FaceTime. Matt, you talked about this during a mandatory 2-week quarantine due to COVID in New Zealand prior to filming X. They only hoped that A24 would greenlight this project, and it was actually greenlit before they even started filming X, which I think speaks to the depth of confidence that A24 had in the fact that this is going to be a success, that X was going to be a success, and that Pearl was going to be a success. That's pretty incredible. I feel like that's rare these days.
And the kind of movies like A24 puts out, it's like they don't give a fuck, dude. Like
Yeah.
they will,
If they like it,
no matter, as long as it's good,
You got to respect
and
it.
it's gripping,
You have to
Yeah,
respect
they
it.
They'll
have
let
some
you
fucking
get away with
sack,
whatever
yeah.
you want.
They're like, we like it. Let's do it.
You want to
Yeah.
have this crazy movie about spousal abuse and divorce and separation, and then you want to have a guy give birth to himself 5 times in a row?
Go for it.
Yeah, we're in.
Like, we're in.
They know how fucked we all are, so
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah, right.
these weirdos would like that. You're like, yep, I love it.
We should do an A24 draft at some point.
That would
That would be
be
a fun draft. We
There's
have talked about
not enough
That's-
horror.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna do like an A24 versus.
that. Blumhouse type
Not,
thing.
it can't be Blumhouse.
Or what's so actually that was
We could do like
Well-
Lionsgate, like go like
What you
old
could
school
do
or
is
something.
production company draft, and then you kind of like pick your fucking team through that.
yeah. All right.
So what we could do is we
yeah.
could like draw straws, and you get like boom. Okay, I got Paramount. Now I got to pick my fucking 8 movies.
I got
from
Worms.
Paramount. You know, I got Worms.
New line.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I
okay.
mean? So we could do
A24,
that.
Blumhouse. What's James Wan's production company? Which actually there was talk that James Wan's production company was going to merge with Blumhouse.
Twisted Picture? No.
No, that's Ghost House.
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's Ghost House. Yeah, with like the
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Dark House.
Lionsgate.
That's a very
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate. That's a very
It's all like Eli Roth movies, then.
interesting idea. Okay, all right, I like that. Maybe we can talk about that a little further.
Dude, maybe we could use Fangoria's, they had like 4.
Fangoria could be in the there's 4 movies. I only know of like 2 of them.
Dude, New Line Cinemas, they don't have that many anymore. Do
Freddy,
Warner Brothers,
all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. So yeah, I know New Line was basically on the verge of bankruptcy until Nightmare on Elm Street came out. So it's essentially one of the nicknames for New Line is the house that Freddy Krueger built. So there's that a little fact for you. Yes. All right. Well, I think with that being said, departing thoughts on Pearl, recommended obviously clearly by all of us to varying degrees, and it's definitely something you should check out.
Up.
Yeah, for sure.
Check it out. Watch X too.
Watch X and watch Pearl.
Watch it.
Watch them both and pair them.
Watch them with your parents.
Yeah, watch them with your parents.
Yeah.
Watch them with your friends. Watch it with your kids.
Watch it with your baby.
Watch them with your church group.
Oh, there's a baby.
In your book club and all those weird people that you know. So
if you hate anybody, watch it with them because then they'll be really offended.
Yes, and they probably won't talk to you afterwards. So
which is even a benefit.
That is actually kind of a benefit. So. All right, well, I think it's going to probably wrap this one up here on another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Thanks to all for all of your contributions. My name is Mike. I've been your host, and guess what, listeners? We'll be here next week, as we are each and every week, talking fun horror things with you. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. But if you're looking for a new podcast platform, we're everywhere. Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, probably a bunch of other fucking places that I don't even have written down here in front of me. So, with that being said, goodbye to you listeners. And Andrew, Kat, Matt, say goodbye to your listeners.
Cheers.
Adios, muchachos.
Good evening.
I love how we are always trying to see who will go with the good evening.
I was going to go with
it makes its way around.
But I wanted to change it up a little.
It always does.
You know
All
what?
right.
I've
So
said
Kat got it in this week. So yes.
Cheers.
Good evening indeed. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. That's right, the Inebriart Podcast Network, folks. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.